is Dominic, wedding DJ.
And this is Serena, wedding planner.
And together we are the Wedding Duo. We are here to talk all things weddings.
Planning a wedding can be stressful, but we are here to help.
So before you say, that's it, we're going to Vegas, don't go to Vegas.
Let's have some fun.
Join us as we answer your wedding questions and help navigate planning one of the biggest days of your life with the Wedding Duo. Hello, everyone out there in the listening world. We are back.
We are back, and we have another fantastic guest, and this is going to be an episode for you guys to really pay attention to because I know this question comes up a lot.
We like having guests.
We do.
Who is our guest?
Yeah, I was going to say they add to our overall, what's the word? Knowledge base, right? Because we can't be specialists in every category.
No, we are.
Oh, okay.
Ask us,
Maybe
we'll tell you.
sometimes. But yes, who is our guest? Let us have her introduce herself.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. My name is Kristen Tumasonis. I am the marketing director at SuitShop. I have been here with the company for going on 4 years. So I joined right at the end of COVID, went through all of the COVID wedding booms, and then now we're kind of, leveling back out, as most people are probably noticing. I know some of you watching are probably still struggling with the new dates, but hopefully we're on the outside. With that being said, SuitShop offers suits and tuxedos to own at a similar price to a rental. So you can get suits and tuxedos for the entire wedding party, men, women, non-binary individuals, children, all in coordinating colors, starting at $199 to own. And as we'll probably talk about today, most of our stuff is going to be handled online, no measurements needed, lots of cool fancy tools. But we also do have 6 showrooms located throughout the United States with more on the way. So if you want an in-person experience to just get to try on, touch and feel, have a fun time with all of your friends and party people, you can come into our showrooms and have that experience as well in there. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for inviting us to chat a little bit more about suiting trends this year. And hopefully I have some information that feels helpful to your listeners.
I'm sure.
Well, I mean, did you guys hear that, right? Like, you can own the suit for as much as it costs to rent it. I mean, it's the most phenomenal thing. And when we started kind of teaming up with you guys a couple years ago and offering your services to our clients locally, I mean, it's just been phenomenal, the feedback about the process and the cost and how everything turns out. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this is just a total side note. We originally bought suits for all our team from SuitShop, and they went through the fitting process with you guys, and it was just phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, it makes the ease of the whole thing top notch.
I think I have 3 suits from y'all.
Oh, I love it. I remember the first one. What did you do? Was it brilliant blue or navy? I think one of the first ones.
It was the blue one because I have my whole wardrobe is black, and I always say whenever I go to the dry cleaners, I'm sure they think I work at a mortuary or something. I go, no, I'm in the wedding industry, but I was like, can I get a suit that's not black? And so I got the blue one, and we did that video. It was very trendy at the time to like hold it up on the hanger and then jump into it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But you guys used that video for a long time. That was good for my ego. I was like, there I am.
That was when I first started at SuitShop. So this relationship has been happening. We've been friends now for almost 4 years. And I remember that, yes, that was a very popular trend at the time and you killed it. And when I was first starting, we didn't really have anybody that was making videos, when we were trying to grow on social and grow in that video presence. So yes, we loved that video. It was a very well-loved video, both by us and the internet.
Hooray.
Yes. And it's funny to see people's reactions to, like, when I talk to couples about formal wear, they immediately go like, oh, Men's Warehouse, right? Like that's like their response. But then I start talking to them about this option, about SuitShop as an option. And I just want to ask, like, what has been your guys' feedback and how you've grown? Because you've blown up now with more locations, more options, right?
Yeah.
What do you hear from couples most?
A lot of times, there's 2 things. There's people who have just recently been married or married in the last few years who we get the immediate like, oh my gosh, why didn't I hear about you? Why didn't I know about you? So I feel like for us, one of the things we're always combating is we're making sure that all of these engaged couples know about us. And then the people who have heard about us that come through, we're getting a lot of, they're just so impressed with the process. Again, names aside of like rental companies, a lot of times if you are going and looking through there, you see a lot of not so great customer experience. And one thing I think that really sets SuitShop apart outside of the fact that you can own for the same price of a rental is the fact that our customer service is nailed down. If you have an
Yep.
issue, we've had, our showroom managers drive to a venue to drop off a new jacket or something if something
Oh
goes
my gosh.
wrong. We'll overnight something. We'll have, instead of relying on our UPS pickup, we'll have different people driving to the UPS location to make sure it goes out same day. If you reach out to us, there's a good chance you're going to get a response within 2 minutes if it's within business hours. So, I think that's something that a lot of people appreciate about us, apart from the fact that it's suits and tuxedos at an affordable price point, is that they can actually trust working with us.
Mhm.
And again, I think all businesses started at some point. They're all small businesses. They all have founders who have unique stories and are awesome people, I'm sure. But I think our co-founders, Sheen and Diana, they're women. And this all stemmed from like a negative experience at Jean's wedding where she had terrible rentals. The bride, the day after the wedding, was trying to return everybody's rentals. And so she was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
somebody's got to be able to do this better. And I
Sure.
think that's one thing that we've really just nailed. We do it better. You're going to get a good look at the end of the day, but you're also going to have a great experience. It's going to be one less headache. None of your groomsmen are going to get these random charges for things that weren't returned or,
Right.
are damaged or anything like that. Everyone's just going to walk away with something that fits them better because they can get alterations and, they're just going to walk away feeling good about themselves and good about the experience they had. So we
Well,
love to be part of the day in that way.
a lot of my gender at this maybe early 20s stage of your life do doesn't own anything other than cargo shorts, Crocs, and a few T-shirts that
Yeah.
are really have probably should have been thrown away a long time ago,
Hmm.
whether it's the old Aerosmith shirt or Iron Man or Tony Hawk. I'm never throwing away my Tony Hawk shirt. It's got the hole
Wow.
in the pit and all
You
this
were
stuff. But
like
anyway,
dating yourself
the
there.
no,
Yeah.
the people that are getting married, they came up playing Tony Hawk on the video games, I
Maybe.
think. Maybe. But to actually there's one thing to rent a suit. It might be the first time I'm ever in a suit, but to have
Lot.
a really, like, tailor-fitted suit that's,
Yes.
like, fits you because, I see a lot of people too that show up and the jackets past their knuckles, or it's just they look like they're wearing a tent, and I'm like,
Yes.
"Tighten that up, dude," because
Hmm.
a dude in a nice suit, man, that's your confidence goes through the roof too. You
Exactly.
show up and you're like, "Okay, okay, looking good in my suit, right?"
Mhm.
And it's such a big day, like, why not? Like, why not have that
Yeah.
suit that you're like and every time you put it on, your wife later in life or your significant other, your spouse will be like, "Oh, look at you in your suit again. Remember when we got married? That was your" I mean, it's
Yeah.
great.
It is like that. I will say a lot of people have never worn a suit before. They don't have any idea how it would fit, and I will say this pro tip to the audience if you're considering and on the fence about owning versus renting, there's a good chance you're at a stage in your life where suits are going to become more and more necessary for
Yes.
different dress codes where maybe it hasn't been in the past. You're like, I don't need this. And
Right.
then you rent it and then you end up renting again and again and again. And you're going to end up out $1,000, nothing to show for and when you could have just had one for the same price in your closet the whole time, that's super versatile. My husband, he had some of those like baggy suits in his closet for sure. He definitely had the cargo pants too at one point, but got rid of those. They're coming back though, I think. So maybe it
Yes.
was my mistake.
It
Anyway,
kinda
that green suit from our wedding between him and his two brothers that were groomsmen has been worn all over the place. Our friend's wedding in Mexico, holiday parties, all of these
Yep.
things. Like there's things you're not thinking about. Like maybe you would put on a dress shirt and like some slacks in most cases. But when you have the suit, you're more likely to wear it and go to events where you wear it. And if you're in that early 20s range, I just promise you there will be way more opportunities. You've got more friends that are going to be getting married. And if you pick a color like black, green, burgundy, blue, gray, all of the main,
Yep.
core collection
Mhm.
that Suit Shop offers, you can get so much use out of it. And we spend a lot of time on our socials and our website making sure that you know how it should fit and that
Yes.
you know how you can rewear it again and again. So it doesn't feel like this one off purchase. So that's just
Yeah, and so tell
my
us a little
soapbox.
bit about, like, that process with you guys, because 'cause
Yeah.
we've had clients go through it, and then like I mentioned, our DJs went through it, but what is that like, from start to finish
Yeah.
when they work with y'all?
So, one of the first steps that most couples will probably go through after discovering us is going to be ordering swatches. We do offer free
Mhm.
swatches. If you give your phone number, you'll get free swatches. So, if you're still kind of deciding between a color, for example, one that I see a lot is I have bridesmaids in sage, a very common bridesmaids color, but I'm really torn between blues, grays, black, that people really just get really caught up in that. So, being able to order some swatches and compare maybe the textured gray, the light blue, the tan, the black, the navy all together and see what do they like best with that chiffon sage or that satin, terracotta, whatever color they're using. That's going to be kind of like that first step. And that typically happens around 6 months to a year out from the wedding in those initial
Right.
kind of planning stages. And then for us, because we ship immediately and your suits are going to arrive within 5 to 10 business days, you're not on under this pressure to like plan it super far in advance, but it's
Mhm.
still always a good idea to make sure that you're letting the company know if you're setting up your wedding group ahead of time so that everything's taken care of and squared away numbers wise. But with that being said, the next step is going to be kind of just to decide, is this what I really want? A lot of places will offer trials where you get to, you know, they put a hold on your card and you try it on at home. We've switched this more to just like buy the suit that you're thinking about. If it fits great, cool, you keep it. If not, we're going to send you a refund. We have unlimited exchanges, returns, and free
Right.
refunds. So
Wow.
it's kind of the same trial system. We just don't label it as a trial. So with that being said, you can try the suit on at home and really confirm that you like the way it fits, you like the way it
Mhm.
looks. Again, at this point, if you are near a showroom, you could go into a showroom. And from there, we would move on to setting up a wedding group. So, about 3 months out, our couples are going to start setting up wedding groups, adding everybody into the dashboard. I love talking about this process because this, again, is just where I think Suit Shop goes above and beyond. Once you set that group up and send the introduction, we have all of the tools in place to follow up with everyone leading up to the wedding and giving them multiple chances to order so that they order on time and that you're not the ones following up. But
Oh
beyond
my
that, if,
gosh.
if we get
That is
two,
so great. I
right?
mean, that's my favorite part right there. Brides, did you hear that, right? Like, you don't have to track them down.
You don't
They
have to do
will
it.
remind them. Yes, absolutely.
Can you see? Can you go in and be like, "Who is it? It's Jonathan, isn't
Oh,
it?"
yeah, I can.
Yep.
I
Like,
actually
"Wow,
just
yeah."
suited a wedding in Montana where I went as a content creator, and these guys were hilarious to be in a group chat with. If you haven't been in a group with 10, 20 something guys, like, highly recommend, hilarious. But they were so funny. The first guy, he ordered day 1, 3 months out, overnight shipping. He was not playing. Then we
Okay.
had people week of who just didn't even do the fit finder and, like, ordered the smallest size, and he's like, "I don't think it fits." And I'm like, well, you didn't do the fit finder. So
Right.
we haven't even gotten to that step yet. But basically, if these guys are struggling or co-founder's mom picks up the phone and is like, hey, you're about to ruin your friend's wedding. We need to place this order
Right.
now.
Like,
So
literally her mom.
yeah, literally her mom.
Okay, that's the
And
most fantastic
Diana
thing.
Gans, our co-founder, is her mom. So
You don't wanna hear from Diana. Don't you better get this done. She
yeah,
is on the
if we're
phone.
calling you, you're a bad friend. No, I'm kidding. There are plenty of reasons why, someone might be
Right.
struggling. But with that being said, we did do a little initiative called the BI or the MVP, the most valuable party person, where the first person who ordered got like a little gift in the mail. It was like a gold garment bag. It was
Oh
very
my god.
limited and it was really fun. And we didn't even promote it publicly. It was a surprise and delight. But we do celebrate the groomsmen who have and groomswomen who have their things together, We love that for you guys. But, you know, back to the process. After the group set up, there's an intro message. All this goes out. And so the way that people are finding their sizing online, which seems to be a concern, everyone really thinks you need to go in person and get fitted. If you're not getting a bespoke suit, you don't need to get measured with a tape measure. Like,
Right.
let's just be really clear on that. That's a huge misconception. If you go into a suit store in person and they're measuring you with a tape measure, all they're doing is comparing to their size charts. That's all they're doing. It's still off the
Right.
rack if you're renting. So what we've done is we have the fit finder. You answer your height, weight, age, shoe size. And if you know your pant and jacket size, you can put it in, but it's not required if you don't know it. And we are able to cross reference the hundreds of thousands of people we've suited and pair you with your best potential fit. If there's anything, again, that just doesn't fit exactly right, our team, we have 15, I don't know, probably 20 people that are ready to answer questions. If you need to send a photo or jump on a call, and make that really quick, easy, fast, and free exchange. So it's just so much easier than, try to go in and get measured. Even if you go into our showroom, you're trying things on. You're not necessarily getting a tape measure because you
Right.
don't need it whenever you have the size range that we have. We're just going to put you in a few different options that fit you and find that perfect fit without needing all of those extra, again, tape measures. So once you do that, order, arrives in 5 to 10 days and you're pretty much set. You'll need some alterations to the pant. And if you really want to make it look custom, if you need your waist tapered or anything else that you might want, you have full freedom to do that. With rentals, you do not have that. You are limited to a few different types of alterations that they will allow with a non-permanent stitch. But with ownership, you can literally get it tailored to you. My husband's suit looks like a bespoke suit. Like
Mhm.
it looks so good on him. I every time I look at the photos, I'm like, how was that a $200 suit? So,
Right?
and I guarantee anybody watching this, if you do use Suit Shop, you will probably feel the same. Those little tweaks that you can do with a suit that you own is just chef's kiss.
It
It's
is, and
really
I feel
nice.
the same way about the blue suit that you ordered. I mean, it's my favorite suit on
Right.
you, and it looks so
Unfortunately, I
good.
don't get to wear it very often, but
You
I do
don't.
bust it out occasionally.
Hey.
Um, the, for those of you like, when we order, like I said, we have a team of DJs, and none of them had a suit. So, we went through y'all, we got them all suits, but most of us, again, have never been to a tailor or an alteration shop.
Mhm.
Most of the places that do the wedding dress, sometimes if it's an alteration, do they work with just with the dresses, or do they, because most places just alterations. If they do
Yeah.
alterations, they can do
Yeah,
suit too,
they
right?
can absolutely do a pant
Yeah.
hem or,
Mhm.
take in the pants or
Mhm.
something. So
So,
they can use whoever locally.
but the
Yeah.
jacket, like you said, like, I'm a very odd shape. I'm long torso, short legged. I'm very stocky. I played soccer my whole life. I'm all legs and butt, right? And then I've got an 18
Okay.
and a half inch neck. Every time I go to an alteration, that sometimes they'll mention taking in the jacket a little
Mhm.
bit, just getting a better form, so
Mhm.
it doesn't just drop down like a tent. But that's the thing. I see the rental suit and I can almost see them from a distance. I'm like,
Mhm.
rental, rental, rental.
Yep.
But the ones that just it just ta the word tailor is just
Tapered.
no, it's tailored to them is what I
Right,
meant.
but it
But
tapers in a
tapers, yeah,
little
Yeah.
bit. Yep.
but when they say, like, "Let me bring that jacket," I'm like, "Yeah, let's take that jacket just a little bit, just what it frames your torso better. It just looks so sharp."
Yeah, it really
So sharp.
does. It makes such a difference to really just pull that in if you need it. With Suit Shop, our size range does accommodate a majority of bodies without needing alterations to the jacket. We have slim and modern fits. I'm actually wearing our men's modern. It has like a little shoulder action, but we also do have the women's line and we do have the unisex line. So we between all of the different sizes that we have in all these different cuts, there's a good chance that a majority of people will not need alterations to the
Right.
jacket and really only need that $10 to $15. Well, let's say $10 to $20 pant hem, but, if you're in that situation, again, my husband is similar where he used to be a bodybuilder. So but he wasn't the kind of bodybuilder that goes super broad shoulders and super slim waist because that would be accommodated easily by our slim. But instead, he's kind of got like a stockier waist and broader, like bigger shoulders. So he did need to get alterations. And some people will, like you said yourself. And being able to do that though, and having the flexibility to do that really it
Yeah.
does make a huge difference because like you said, it is very, very clear to anybody who has like any, you know,
Eye.
baseline fashion sense that it's on things like this and like swallowing somebody, you can kind of tell the difference. It looks like you're kind of like wearing your dad's suit. I've seen
Yes.
a handful of suit companies over the years. Just like it's not your dad's, it's not your mom's, it's yours. So
Well, most of our listeners are brides and moms,
Yep.
mhm.
mostly. I mean, just and
Moms
our
love
followers have hit me up,
nights.
right?
Moms, yep.
But don't you want your man to look his best? I
Yeah,
mean,
Yes,
whether it's
don't you?
whether it's the father of
yeah,
the bride or the groomsman, you want your pictures to be like, look, all the guys, my brother's in there. They all just look sharp.
exactly.
That's just amazing.
Or if it's a woman looking for a suit, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
the options you guys have for women's suits are phenomenal too,
We have
right?
incredible feedback on our women's and unisex line. And, some women do opt, for men's. They want that like,
Yep.
broader shoulder look, and even sometimes with our non-binary friends, like they could go the unisex route if they want, but again, they just want to prefer the more masculine cut so that they can get the
Yep.
shoulder depth. So there's just so many options, and really anybody can feel good when and what they're wearing to their wedding or to any special event thereafter or in between. And, you know, one of the other things is like a trend, if we're talking about trends, and I won't even
We're
call it a
getting there.
trend. I just think it's going to be the new way is making sure that everyone you love is with you and standing next to the person that they're there for. Obviously, if you go to a wedding and you're in a wedding party, you're probably there for both couples, but or both of people in the couple, but there's a good chance that like there's one that is your bestie. So, we're seeing a lot more grooms, bridesmen, person of honor. We have all these different titles now. We call it the wedding party dictionary. We actually have an email that goes out if you're on our list
Yep.
leading up to your wedding. But we have the wedding party dictionary. And with that being said, with all of these different sizes and cuts and fits, it does allow everyone in the wedding to be in the same color and not being, going to different places trying to find something. And honestly, I am actually 100% positive that we are the only online suiting brand that offers this wide of a collection that also it does cater to women and
Right.
non-binary individuals. I know that. And so a lot of the feedback, going back to kind of that feedback question you asked earlier, that we get on this is that they're just so happy to have a place because they feel so uncomfortable being forced to go into menswear businesses and being forced into a men's cut when that's just not the shape of their body. They don't feel good in it. They don't feel confident in it. So we do get a lot of great feedback. I'd say, we have chats going on all day in our internal Slack, if anyone's familiar, but our internal messaging system where we're sharing emails that we've gotten, reviews on Facebook, on Google, on Wedding Wire that are just, so detailed about how they're so grateful that there was this company that helped them, that they were able to feel themselves, they were able to wear something that fit them and look they felt good and confident in. So that's a really big driver, I think, for many of our teammates. Like we love helping obviously the general wedding party and or I don't even call it general, but like the average wedding party of mostly men and groomsmen. But when we get to help these women and non-binary individuals that really are finally finding something that fits them and that they feel secure in shopping with us and confident in wearing this, it does feel really, really great. So it's a big driver for that line of the business for sure.
Just recently, we had they were switched. We had a man of honor and a best
Yeah.
woman, and her suit, I was like, "You've got the best suit of all." I was like, "Guys, look, she's making you all look bad. She's wearing that suit better than all of you."
She
Mhm.
did. She
Um,
looked phenomenal.
she did, but it was funny. She had the rings and he held the bouquet during the
Oh,
ceremony. It was great.
oh,
It was
great. I
great.
love
It was
it.
great.
I love
It was
it.
Yeah,
great.
it was fantastic. So, before we get into a few more trends, because we didn't really talk about trends, because I'm so excited to share all about Suit Shop with you guys,
Yeah.
because I just love it so much. We're gonna pause real quick and talk about our sponsor.
Let's do that. Okay, so it's been a few weeks since our last episode, and I have been using Truvega for several weeks now, and it has seriously helped me get way better sleep. So, if you don't know what it is a handheld device that you put on your first you have to find your vagus nerve, which is in your neck, kind of like where you would feel for your pulse. You turn on the device, you hold it there, and it literally stimulates the vagus nerve, helps you relax, helps you be calmer. And Lord knows if you're planning your wedding, anything that can help you sleep and make you calmer is going to be advantageous as you go down this planning your wedding world.
Right, and so how often do you use it?
So I do 2 minutes in the morning and then 2 minutes in the evening as well. That's all you
Yeah,
need to do.
that's it, right? It's so easy, and literally, he's been less cranky.
Because traditionally I'm just a complete pain, but it really is fabulous. And like I said, if you're planning your wedding and you're going to be stressed, because if you're not, it's not if, it's when you're going to have the stress. So True Vega, seriously, seriously, check it out.
Visit truvega.com/wedding duo for $15 off your order. That's TRUVAGA.com/wedding duo to enhance your wellness journey and get $15 off your Truvega or Truvega Plus device. That's TRUVAGA.com/wedding duo.
Great packaging as well. Comes in a very cool box
Very
for
true.
a side note. And we're back. So you mentioned your husband.
Mhm.
You got married recently, didn't you?
Yeah, 2 years ago in October.
Oh my goodness. So this is all fresh in your head. This is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so it's funny because when I got married, I was a better DJ. I was a better wedding professional, having gone through the process myself. Cause I was like, good God, this is a lot. There was so much, and I just appreciated it. So
Mhm.
I'm sure you're even more dialed in now where you're like, girl,
Yeah.
I know I was just there, right?
Yes.
I definitely feel like that with people we're working with directly, like, in the business, but also with our couples. I work a lot with, like, our influencers and creators and having those, like, initial conversations when we're doing partnerships. So, yes, 100%, I totally align with that sentiment of once I went through it, I could understand it a lot better. It makes a huge difference in one, how you're, like, viewing different people's decision-making process. You can also guide them a little bit better and
Right.
remind them of what the purpose of the day is and how it's gonna make them
Yes.
feel. We get some people who get really caught up in the groom and the groomsmen and the bridesmaids and how their stuff is gonna match and how many people are standing at the front with them. And at the end of the day, anyone listening, if you're stressed about, "I've got 4 bridesmaids and my groom has 5 groomsmen and it's unbalanced, who can we get rid of?" You don't need to get rid of anyone. No one's gonna be
Yes.
up there counting. It's not gonna look imbalanced. And when the photos, which is really what comes out of that day after the fact, the majority of the photos that you look at, that you enjoy, that you print and hang on your wall, they're not gonna have that it's not gonna be the photo of the altar. It's gonna be the photos that you take with your friends behind the scenes or of just the couple
Yes.
is gonna be the majority of it.
Sure.
So people, get caught up on that a lot. And I find myself now after the fact that I look back on my wedding photos, just not thinking about that. For reference, I had 9 girls that I got ready with, had fun, they dressed up, they walked down the aisle, And then I just had 2 stand to match my
Okay.
2, my brother-in-laws, they were the groomsmen. Brothers-in-law, they were the groomsmen. And then
Mhm.
my chosen sisters is what I call it, the maid and matron of honor. And the rest of them just sat. Nobody was
Yep.
upset. Everybody had a great time. And the photos were beautiful. And I got photos with everybody. And I love sharing that piece of advice to people as well. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't gone it through myself. Like it wouldn't be as easy to like share that bit of knowledge. And that's one of my favorite tips. So anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's great for people to hear. And so if we're talking about, like, trends you guys are seeing
Yeah.
in the formal wear world, can you talk about that? Like,
Yeah.
materials, colors,
Yeah.
like, fun stuff? Yeah.
To start things off, the core blues, grays, and blacks, and now tan are really gonna always be the,
Yeah.
like, go-to for everybody. Our
The heavy
top
hitters.
selling products are classic black and tan. Tan is, like, right up there with black now, which is just,
Wow.
we kind of expected it, but it's just been a huge I don't know, it's just been huge for us to have this now very light tan. It's kind of like an off-white sandy tan versus, like, a beige tan.
Right.
And people love it, and it looks really, really great with so many colors. So tan is super, super popular. And I don't know if I'm gonna call it a trend because it's kind of an people make it work for all season, and it's just been going now for like 2 years going strong. When we lean more into like what's actually trending, this is a really fun opportunity to talk about a new initiative with SuitShop, and that is that we're launching our made to order program in the next couple of weeks. We already have like a pre-launch of it going on now, but whenever you sell garments like this, it's really hard to um, have a full inventory of all the sizes that we have and
Yes.
not potentially lead to fashion waste or, having to lend specifically to trends and kind of go in and out of seasons. So this made to order program is going to allow us to have all these colors, all these different styles all year round without having to risk fashion waste. So what we're already seeing, especially for this year, is there's so many people and wedding parties that are really leaning into the olive tones of greens, really anything earthy tone. Clay has been really big for us.
Really?
Tweed is a new
Okay.
fabric that we'll be offering that has probably been like one of the bigger hits for what we're seeing coming through the made to order program on this like pre-launch that we have going on. But
Nice.
olive clays, earth tones, those are super big at the moment. And I think, it's probably because we're going into fall. So I'll be really interested to see what are couples leaning into on these made to order styles for kind of the spring. I think we'll probably see more jewel tones as we always do. And I think
Right.
we'll never get away from classic black and tan. But that's on the
What about the
costuming side.
what about the baby blue and the bright orange with the top hat and the canes? Is that still is
Are
that
we going Dumb and
I
Dumber?
just
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
I'm
I
glad you got the reference. I was like, most of the women are like, "What's he why would you ever like it's a Dumb and Dumber reference, come on."
One, I grew up with like, my parents, separated when I was super young, so I grew up mostly under my dad's roof, so Dumb and Dumber was a common hit in our household.
Understood.
So,
You dialed in.
I got that one, but also, I will have to send you a photo after, but we had a friend of one of our teammates who actually ordered baby blue and burnt orange to do their Halloween costume last year, and it's incredible.
Yes.
So,
Oh
yeah.
my god. There we go. That's a
Don't
good
give
looking
him any
outfit.
ideas,
Hey, we
please,
got
Kristen.
pinstripes. Beetlejuice is hitting right now, so,
Okay, that's
Okay.
good.
we are offering with the made to order, there will be a lot more fabrics, patterns, and whatnot. But I think, like I said, the core colors are really always what's going to be going for weddings, and tan has really come up in that next alongside black. People always love the light blue. You mentioned it. That's not really the like, what do you call it? Like not blush blue. I can't think of the name. Powder blue. Yeah, it's not like the powder blue. We do have a powder, like a more. It's not really powder blue. It's just more baby blue, like you're saying, like sky blue. We do have a color like that, but the light blue that we offer in our core collection that you can order anytime. There's no wait. It's not made to order. You can get it in made to order styles if you want like a double breasted. But if you want that, that's also a very popular color, especially in the spring. Again, I mentioned sage earlier. If sage is your color, light blue is like a perfect color with sage. It's very popular. But yeah,
We talk we talk about themes quite a bit.
yeah.
If you're thinking of doing a Beetlejuice themed wedding, please hire me. Please, I want to be there. I will knock so much
So
money off
bad.
that price. I
Yeah.
want to be there. Just
Everyone in pinstripe.
Yeah,
that's a new
everyone.
trend. People are like, "Beetlejuice? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Let's do the Beetlejuice theme."
Beetlejuice.
Is there a thing, Kristen, with, uh, having the groom stand out? How
Oh,
how can you
yes.
yeah,
This is
right?
one of my favorite topics. I
Right.
love
Sure.
talking to people about how the groom can stand out. There are
Yes, so
so
in
many
what
ways.
way?
So
Okay.
one of my favorite way, bias is what we did for my husband, but clearly because it was my favorite, putting the groom in a vest under the jacket
Mhm.
and having everyone else without the vest, just regular 2-piece suit, have the groom in a 3-piece suit. At a glance, when you're looking at the whole party, it elevates him,
Yes.
there and it looks awesome.
Pretty
But
sharp, yeah.
what I like about this as an outfit option for the groom is that when everyone starts dancing, when they have an amazing DJ, right? They're gonna take their jackets off. They're hot. So when the groom has a vest on, he still stands out. Like I
Yeah.
love there's a picture of me and my husband like doing this on the dance floor and he's got his vest on and it just he still looks so classy and like dapper even though everybody else just has white shirts on. So it's a
Right.
really great way to make the groom stand
That's a
out.
great point.
It's one of my
That's nice.
favorites.
I like it.
Ano
Plus,
Another
let's
common
make him
one.
sweat a little bit more. Let's make him sweat.
Yeah,
Make
exactly,
him
like, turn up the music
earn that
and
wet.
get the jackets off so that the groom can really let that vest out. But, we see a lot where a groom maybe does, like, a bow tie, and the groomsmen will do a necktie, or vice versa, the groom is in necktie, everyone else is in bow tie. That's, like, mixed. If you go on Reddit and you're looking at fashion advice for men on Reddit, like, no one would ever go for that because they think the bow tie is more it's true. The bow tie is a little more formal, so if you want the
Right.
groom to have the most formal option usually, but do what you want, again, do what
Yes.
you
No
want.
rules.
There's no
Girl, no
rules,
rules. Yep.
yeah, and then if you go the tuxedo route, again, I didn't get to talk about this with the trend part, but white tuxedos for or ivory tuxedos for men are coming up where the groom and bride are all in white and then everybody else is, like, popping around them, and so that they stand
Yeah.
out, so white tuxedos are coming in or white with black lapels. So something that you could do here if your groom is in you guys are all in tuxedos, you got groom or the marrier, the swap like to wear a different lapel. So maybe you have them in like
Mhm.
a really classy notch lapel and then everything's classy with a tuxedo, what am I saying? But you have them in like a notch lapel or something like a peak lapel or a notch lapel. And then you have all of the groomsmen in a shawl lapel. So that's that rounder lapel that we've been
Right.
seeing a lot, especially in Hollywood. And then that's a way to separate the tuxedos. Some people even have groom in tuxedo and groomsmen in an all black suit. So
Mm.
there's a few ways to make that change. Another option in the tuxedo is having a groom or the marrier in a classic tuxedo shirt. This is that black button that you see a lot with
Yes.
tuxedos. And then everybody else is just in a classic dress shirt. They don't have that black button. So that helps a little distinguish the groom a little bit. So yeah, those are some of the primary ones with tuxedos. And then kind of thinking on the necktie, I kind of got away from that for a second, but thinking back on the necktie, if you want groom to match bride or you want the couple to match, you can always do ivory or something super neutral with the groom. And then you can have groomsmen match bridesmaids or have some more pattern play to
Right.
pull in the other colors. And another one thing I will mention, and I'm on a tangent right now, so excuse me,
No.
but
Go, girl. Go.
something that people I think get caught up in too is being so concerned that the bridesmaid's dress and the groomsman tie like needs to be so matchy coordinating.
Right.
But don't forget that a lot of times your wedding colors come out in your florals and
Yes.
there's a boutonniere. You can have a boutonniere on and that can also help tie things together. So don't get so stuck on the tie and the pocket square and all of these things because you have a lot more options to play around and make people stand out in different ways and pull colors together. So it's a long-winded
So
different ways.
fantastic. No, I mean, you describe it really well and give people options that, maybe they don't know about,
Mhm.
honestly, right? Because we always talk about when we are talking to couples or our audience that this is the first time for a lot of them doing this, right?
Mhm.
So this information that we're discussing that we see every weekend is not common knowledge
Yeah.
for these couples. So sharing something like that is
And
so
something of
helpful.
like just with talking about the lapel and the different options there. I'm a dude, I have lots of suits. I don't know nothing about no lapel,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and that's something people just look at the picture, they would overlook it. But when you're a bride, you are in the
Yeah.
weeds, man. You
You're
are looking
thinking
at the
about it.
details. And so to see like, okay, I see like you can look at 10 different pictures and you'll suddenly look at lapels and you might see all these different lapels. But the white jacket with the black lapel, that is sharp. I had to
Oh.
get groom recently and he had black pants on still. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure
Yeah.
the white pants might be a
You
bit
can do
much,
white
but
or black pants. If you go on our website right now, the homepage, you'll see a white tuxedo, black lapels with white pants, but you could easily do it with black pants too. So
yeah.
both
Nice.
are good.
But
But anyway, sorry.
we're always like over the course of the night, I'm like, hey, we've been dancing for a little while. Maybe we're throwing the bouquet. Maybe we're doing the anniversary dance. Maybe I just need to talk to my couple. And the bride is easy to find. I mean, I can spot her in a second if she's in the room.
Mhm.
The groom, I'm always like, "Where the hell is my groom?" Right?
Where's he at?
Right. But when he was in the white jacket, I was like, boom and boom, there they are.
Yeah,
You have
that's not really a factor in what when you purchase
no,
stuff
it's nothing
that
to
so
do with
that we can
anybody except
find you,
me and
but
my selfish way,
But it
but a
is. It might not be
what
for the vendor specifically, but it is, some usually the couple wants the couple to stand out. They want themselves
yes,
to
sure.
stand out. So maybe not stand out to the vendors. That's not in the top of their mind, but they definitely want to stand out. So it's a great point either way.
Well,
absolutely, I
usually it's when
agree.
there's a song that it's one of their bangers that they said, "Make sure we're in the room," and I'm like,
Where are they?
I'm scanning because I've got it queued up, and I go, "Ooh, it fit nicely right here, but I need them out in the room."
Mhm.
Oh
There
my
you go.
gosh.
That's the mind of a DJ hard at work.
Yeah.
Always, always hard at work. Well, is there anything else fun or trendy that you can share with us just to kinda, like, wrap it up that
Top
you
hats.
think
Let's go.
that
Top hats. Let me hear
you think
it.
people would be interested in knowing? And then we'll talk about where they can find you.
I'll say a couple of things. First, while we're on the topic of tuxedos, and we did also mention made to order, we're seeing a lot of come back with some velvet and some cummerbunds. Cummerbunds were
Right.
out for a while, but we actually
Mhm.
just started carrying them again because we were starting to get so many requests. So I think we'll see some cummerbunds come back. They were white and black. So if you're going white tuxedo, you can get a white cummerbund. If you're going black or black and white tuxedo, you can get black. So that's a new fun way that people can stand out a little bit and dress up their tuxedo. And the other thing
Love
I
it.
think that's fun to mention that I actually maybe it's a reverse trend, like, maybe it's not as much of a trend, but it's just a reminder for people that you don't always have to wear a classic white dress shirt. My cousin is getting married in a couple months now or next month. He's getting married next month and he's like, "I don't know, I'm thinking about doing a patterned shirt." And I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." I think
Yes.
people forget that they can play with their looks. Some of my favorite photos that we've gotten from couples are literally like very neutral, but you could dress it up and be bright if you want. Very neutral, like Hawaiian shirts. We had a
Yeah.
tan a group that did like a green, I think it was green for the groom, like a very muted pattern type neutral green undershirt, Hawaiian shirt type style. And then all the groomsmen had like a pinker one to match the bridesmaids. And
Oh
these
my
are
gosh.
incredible photos. It
Yes.
looked so good if you're having like an island-esque or tropical themed event. But, if you're having something more moody fall, you could even go in like the darker floral patterns to like really make everything come together. Just like don't be afraid to be yourself on your wedding day and like you
Mhm.
don't have to fit into a box with your suiting. Even if you're getting like a really classic suit that you can wear again and again, it's not a fun pattern here. There's so many other ways to play. And there's so many options out there. And when I'm sending people or talking to my friends about where can you get things like this, Etsy makes some really cool stuff. There's a
Yes.
lot of small artists that are hand making or have developed patterns for these cuts of shirts that are really fun, especially for our women out there that really don't want to wear a white dress shirt, but they want something that's a little more elevated and fun. Etsy has some really cool, like different lace undershirt options
I
that are
love
full
that.
button down, so you get that same look with a little bit of like oomph, maybe a little more playful, a little more flirty, I guess you could say, than just that classic white button down. So yeah, don't be afraid to play around and mix up your outfit and you don't have to sit into this like standard norm. So that's maybe one other little fun thing that I would mention.
I don't I don't know if they're Etsy or not, but I've seen some of the dress shirts that I call it the mullet dress shirt because it's business up front and party in the back. So the sleeves in the back are Marvel or Star
Oh,
Wars.
yes.
One
Have
guy
you
had
seen
fish.
that?
So when they had the
Mhm.
jacket on, it looked very great in the pictures. Took the jacket off and I'm like, "What in the hell is going on with that shirt?"
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
One of the guys was a fisherman. It was just all these fish. And I was like,
Yeah, you
but it
couldn't
was
tell for the ceremony, right, at
Yeah.
all, and then they
but
take it off, and I'm
They
like,
get to
oh,
have
he's
"How"
their
cringing.
personality involved. Yeah.
you said, she's
I know you're
cringing right
cringing.
now.
You're like, "Oh my god, fish? No fish on the
Hey,
shirt."
I love fishing actually. Surprise.
Oh,
I'm not like
Nice.
an avid fisherman, but my husband and I have gone on many, many guided fishing trips. It's like a thing that we do. So I like fishing.
Still? Is
I
that not
might be like, at a wedding, but like I said, be yourself and do what you want to do. And
absolutely.
and if you
well,
don't want to have like a business front party back shirt, like lots of people tie it in with their cuff links or
sure.
sometimes even the cuffs of their shirt themselves I've seen people do like their
Custom.
sports team and lapel pins are actually another thing that like I just remembered. We had an influencer bride recently who did that where they they passed off on the what am I trying to say? The boutonniere, and they opted for like a really cool lapel pin on their tuxedos, and that was
Oh,
really
wow.
nice. So there's just, I mean, there's so many ways to like pull these little
For
things,
sure.
whether it's fish or your favorite sports team, or if you're an Office fan. I'm sure you guys see that with like,
Yep.
All the time.
aisle song, processional songs. I know on
Oh, yeah.
Reddit, I go in there and like comment from Suit Shop on people's stuff. And I'm like, here are so many things. And I'm sure some of the tips when it's music related have come from you guys. So there's so many
Oh,
ways
well,
to pull
that's
in these elements
exciting.
of your relationship
I
into
love
your
it. I
wedding.
love it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys, you can't go wrong with Suit Shop. And I'm not just saying that because like we have Kristen sitting in front of us. Well, not really in front of us, virtually. I'm saying it from a perspective of working with couples who have utilized this service and been very
Yeah.
pleased. And I can't tell you how much more valuable it is to own the suit. You own the suit for the same price. Like
It's
I
always
can't
better
do
to
that.
have something to show for it. That's how I look. Like, if you're gonna
Yes.
be out
Yeah.
$200, why not have something versus
Yes.
Instead of
returning it?
just giving it back.
So where is it they can find you?
Okay, suitshop.com, real easy,
Yep.
that one. I will say autocorrect has a really fun time with our name, so make sure you're paying attention to Suit Shop and
Yep.
suitshop.com, and all of our socials are actually Suit Shop Official. There is like a brand, I think, in Australia that also has the name. So Suit Shop Official is our pages. We do lots of wedding tips and outfitting tips on our Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts now, primarily on TikTok for those videos. And if you need any visual inspiration for color combos and all of that, we do offer that on our Instagram more and from like a photo perspective. And we do have a real wedding section of our website where we feature couples that have given us permission to share their wedding photos, their story, their color palettes. And, we do share those things to Pinterest as well, but you can check all those things out on our site at suitshop.com. And anything on social is going to be Suit Shop Official.
Suit Shop
Perfect.
official.
Well, and guys, we've talked about this the last several episodes. We're starting our membership. It launches
Mhm.
in like 4 or 5 days,
Ooh,
next Monday,
nice.
the 16th. And we're going to be talking about formal wear inside the membership.
We're also gonna be talking about lopsided wedding parties, so if
Mm,
you're more concerned about that, there's all sorts of different things you can do throughout the course of the day to make that diluted a
Absolutely.
little bit, if you will.
love
Yeah.
it.
So find us if you're new to the podcast anywhere, TikTok, we are Wedding Duo, Instagram, the dot wedding duo. And then online, it's theweddingduo.co, not .com. That gets messed up so often, but it was too expensive to buy the .com.
I've I have
Relatable.
one I have one question for you
Yeah.
that is related to someone who is 2 years away
Mhm.
from their wedding. How long did it take for the algorithm to know you're no longer engaged and start sending you baby stuff and house buying, all that stuff?
It's so funny you say that. I talk about this all the time. They know like the next day that you're
Oh,
not
they know
married
the
and that
next
you need to
day.
know wedding. You need to know that you're now married and now you need baby content. It's just like your family. Like as soon as you get the ring, they're like, "What's the wedding date?" It's like, "I
When
got this yesterday. What do you mean?" And then at the wedding, you say, "I do," and they're like, "Okay, when's the
when's
baby?"
the
So
baby
Yeah,
coming?
we've
yeah.
all been
Yeah.
there. TikTok is just like your great aunt. So TikTok
That's
still
a
doesn't
great
know who I
way to
am
go.
because I'm so in depth in like the wedding world because of this job. So I get like a really hard mix of like wedding content and
Yeah.
1-year-old content. So
Because can we
yeah,
share
of course.
that what is your baby's name?
Her name is shortened is Ellie. Her
Ellie,
name is
love it.
Ellie, and
And
she just
I
turned
mean,
1 over the
she just
weekend.
turned
So
1, right?
yeah.
See,
So
TikTok willed you right into starting a family right
We
away.
got married at our house in our backyard. We have an acre outside of
Love
Atlanta.
it.
So we got married here. And then literally 9 months to the date, we had our baby shower. So that, obviously she came a couple, like, another 6 or so weeks after
right.
that. But it was just really funny how the timing worked out for when we had the baby shower.
Yep.
My husband, Steve, was like, 9 months ago today, we gathered for our marriage, and now we're gathering to
Yeah, yeah.
celebrate the birth of our daughter.
Oh.
So
I wish
that
you'd done
was
many
really
things.
funny to us.
Yeah, that's hysterical. And you guys, if you're out there, it's gonna happen to you too. Get ready for it.
Yeah.
The algorithm will turn on you and
And
dime on
I
the dime.
will say this too. One thing to add about the algorithm, if it is confused and you work in the wedding space or you don't work in the wedding space and you just continue to get wedding content, I think even the week prior to your wedding, it's very, very smart to just turn off and unfollow is
Yeah.
like maybe not unfollow the wedding duo, but like unfollow, like it just turn off notifications
Oh,
for
I
anything
agree.
wedding because you don't want to be like, oh, maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should last minute add this. Maybe I should do
Yes.
that. I still to this day, like when new trends come up, I'm like, why couldn't I have had a
Right.
newspaper
Of
about our
course.
wedding for all the guests?
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
I don't regret anything of our wedding
Okay,
day,
Kristen,
but
Do you care if we do a TikTok on that? Because I want you to do a TikTok talking about
Go ahead.
unfollow the people. I mean, even though they'll unfollow us, I am fine with it.
No,
I
what?
Just
understand.
Oh,
silence the notifications. You don't even have to say unfollow.
Yes, because it is. It's a mind game. The week of the wedding, you can't do anything about
Yeah.
any of it, right? And
Yeah.
you're seeing it, and you're just having this
You're
like
calling the DJ
FOMO,
like,
right?
"Can I get the last dance added in? Can you add this one more song? Can you cut this?"
I
Like the day
and
of.
you can.
He's like,
I
"I
had a
can
couple
do that actually."
Yeah, he's like, I will
I
change it
literally
for
had a
you.
couple that was on the fence between 2 songs for their first dance. They were on the dance floor. Literally, I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, dancing together for the first time as husband and wife." And I looked down, I heard a "Psst," and I look up, and they were like, "We're gonna do the other," and literally, so I tell my couples, "Until it happens, I can change it."
Yeah.
Like, I can it just took me a
Yeah.
second. I'm like, "Quick, cue up the
Okay,
other song."
but there are vendor categories where that is not
No.
true.
Yeah,
That
like florals.
you're
Like
in
you can't there's a good chance you're not gonna change your whole wedding bouquet the day before or
no, please
switch to
don't, please don't.
lapel like or pocket florals instead of
No,
a boutonniere
Yeah.
the night before or something. So you just don't
You
want to
can't
be
call a
second
caterer
guessing any of your
fair.
decisions other than the
You
ones
can't
that you maybe were always on the fence about anyway,
you
it
can't
sounds
call the caterer that morning and say, "I think we'll do the chicken instead." Like, "No, you're not.
like.
No, you are not."
Man, I should have got that audio guest book. I should have got this. I should have
yep,
done that. You just don't want to be
Right.
thinking about that. It
I love it,
yeah, and you
and
don't
I'm okay
this
if
is
they unfollow.
to that question that you asked me earlier about after you've become a bride or the things that that made you better, worse, or probably mostly better at your job and relating to couples. And this is just one of those things that I wouldn't probably have realized it if I wasn't in the wedding space because of the fact that I still get so much wedding content and see all the
Sure.
changes and trends. But if you have the power to not be as in depth with it for the last like week before and maybe even the couple
Right.
weeks after, it's just so much better to just soak that in and be confident in the decisions that you've made and enjoy that for what it is versus second guessing anything last second.
I love that.
There you go.
Yeah, make a
Let's leave it
TikTok
at
on
that,
it.
guys. That is the best tip
Yeah.
right there, right? I mean, all the suit stuff was great too, but that tip, if you hung on for the whole episode, it's very valuable.
Get some suits.
Okay. Yeah, so let's end it.
Beetlejuice. I'm stuck
Beetlejuice.
with
Beetlejuice.
let's end it with Beetlejuice.
Okay, so how do we always end it? I
We
forget.
always end it
I
by
don't really.
saying, "Today, all about you is your wedding day, so don't let
Yeah.
somebody talk you into something you don't wanna do or talk you out of something you have your heart
Yeah.
set on. It's your day."
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll seal it with a kiss. We're gonna blow a kiss. Ready,
Yeah.
Kristen?
Are you with it? The kiss blowing?
Okay.
Mwah. Hey, so thanks for listening to our podcast. If you found any of this information helpful and you know someone who may be engaged or is a maid of honor, maybe you could tell them and share it with a friend.
Absolutely. So screenshot this episode, share it on Instagram, on Facebook, and tag the wedding duo. We promise to share the love back. Also, if you are interested in more resources or the show notes, you can go to theweddingduo.co. We have one-on-one virtual sessions, a shop, all sorts of fun stuff. Check it out.